I found the documents hidden in a box at the back of our closet. Medical papers proving my husband had been lying to me for 2 years. The procedure was done 3 weeks before he looked me in the eyes and told me he was ready to start our family. What I discovered that day didn't just end my marriage. It revealed that the man I trusted most had stolen my choices while I was blaming my own body. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I'm 32 years old. 3 months ago, I discovered something that shattered my entire marriage in a single afternoon. My husband of 6 years had been lying to me about the one thing that mattered most. He told me we were trying for a baby together. He held my hand through negative pregnancy tests. He reassured me month after month that it would happen when the time was right. But the truth was, he had made sure it would never happen at all. 2 years ago, Marcus and I sat in our living room after returning from a friend's baby shower. "I think we're ready," I said, leaning against his shoulder. "Ready for what?" he asked, smiling. "A baby. I think we should start trying." Marcus kissed my forehead. "I've been waiting for you to say that. Let's do it. Let's start our family." That night felt like the beginning of something beautiful. We talked about baby names, painting the spare room, what kind of parents we wanted to be. Marcus seemed just as excited as I was. But what I didn't know is that Marcus had already made a decision without me. A permanent one. The first few months of trying felt hopeful. Every negative test stung, but Marcus was always there. "It takes time, babe," he would say. "Most couples take 6 months to a year. We just have to be patient." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? After a year passed, I made an appointment with my doctor. She ran tests and checked everything. "Sarah, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly healthy," she said gently. Relief washed over me. "So it's just bad timing," she nodded. "Or it could be a male factor issue. Has Marcus been tested?" I shook my head. "I'd recommend he gets a semen analysis done." That evening, I told Marcus, "The doctor said I'm fine, but she thinks you should get tested too." Something flickered in his eyes, something I couldn't quite read. "Yeah, sure, I'll schedule something next week." But he never did. Weeks passed. Every time I asked, he had an excuse. "Work's been crazy. I forgot to call. I'll do it this week, I promise." After 2 months, I made the appointment myself. "Thursday at 10 a.m., I told him. "It's all set." He nodded. "Okay. Thanks, babe." Thursday came. I texted him that afternoon. "How did it go?" His reply came an hour later. "All done. Results take a week." I felt relieved. But Marcus never went to that appointment. I found out 3 weeks later. I was cleaning our bedroom closet one Saturday while Marcus was at the gym. Behind a stack of old sweaters, I found a small cardboard box, partially open. Inside were medical documents, procedure, bilateral vasectomy, patient name, Marcus Andrew Mitchell, date, October 14th, 2023. My hands started shaking. October 14th, 2023. That was 3 weeks before our conversation on the couch. 3 weeks before we agreed to start trying. 3 weeks before he looked me in the eyes and said he was ready to start our family. I sat down on the closet floor, my vision blurred. This couldn't be real, but the documents were clear. Post-procedure notes, recovery instructions, final clearance confirming the vasectomy was successful and permanent. Marcus had been lying to me for 2 years. Every negative pregnancy test I cried over. Every conversation about baby names, every reassurance, all of it had been a lie. He knew it would never happen because he had made sure of it. I heard the front door open. "Sarah, you home?" Marcus called. I didn't answer. He walked into the bedroom and froze when he saw me on the floor. His eyes moved from my face to the papers in my hands. The color drained from his face. "Sarah, let me explain." "Explain?" My voice came out hollow. "Explain how you got a vasectomy 3 weeks before we agreed to start trying for a baby." He took a step forward. I stood up. "Don't." He stopped. "I was going to tell you." "When?" I asked. "When were you going to tell me, after another year of me thinking something was wrong with me?" "I didn't know how to bring it up," he said, his voice breaking. "Why?" I demanded. "Just tell me why you would do this." Marcus was silent for a long moment, then he said something I never expected. "I got someone pregnant when I was 22. My breath caught. "What?" "Her name was Rachel," he continued quietly. "We were dating in college. She got pregnant. I wasn't ready to be a father, but she wanted to keep it. I sat down slowly on the edge of the bed. What happened? She miscarried at 14 weeks, he said, his voice breaking. And she blamed me. She said the stress I caused, the arguments we had about whether to keep it. She said I killed our baby. Marcus, I know it wasn't true, he said quickly. Logically, I know, but I've never been able to shake the feeling that I ruined her life, that I wasn't capable of being a father. So when you said you wanted kids, I panicked. And instead of talking to me about it, I said, my voice cold, you just made the decision yourself? I thought I was protecting you, he said desperately, from having a child with someone who's too broken to be a good father. That wasn't your decision to make, I said. You didn't protect me. You betrayed me. For 2 years, you let me hope for something you had already made impossible. He looked down. I thought maybe if enough time passed, you'd stop wanting it, that we could just be happy without kids. You mean you hoped I would just forget about the family we planned? I said. You hoped I'd give up on the one thing I told you mattered most to me? He didn't answer, because there was no answer that could make it right. That night, Marcus slept in the guest room. I lay in bed, replaying every moment of the last 2 years, every time he held me after a negative test, every time he said, it'll happen soon. It had all been an act. The next morning, I called my best friend, Emily. He did what? She said, her voice sharp with disbelief. After I explained everything, including the Rachel story, there was silence. Then she spoke, her voice cold. Sarah, I don't care what happened to him in college. That doesn't give him the right to lie to you for 2 years. You need a lawyer. A week later, I met with a divorce attorney. She listened to my story and looked at me seriously. This is called reproductive coercion. It's a form of abuse. The word hit me hard. Abuse. He didn't force me to do anything, I said. He didn't have to, she replied. He manipulated you into thinking you had a chance at something he had already made impossible. That's coercion. When I got home, Marcus was waiting. Where were you? Meeting with a divorce lawyer. His face went pale. Sarah, please, we can fix this. How? I asked. How do we fix 2 years of lies? I'll get therapy, he said desperately. I'll work through the Rachel thing. I'll reverse the vasectomy. We can still have a baby. I stared at him. You think that fixes it? You think reversing a surgery and going to therapy erases what you did? I'm trying to make it right. It's not about the vasectomy anymore, Marcus, I said quietly. It's about the fact that you looked me in the eyes for 2 years and lied. You let me blame myself. You let me think my body was failing when you knew the truth all along. 3 months have passed. Marcus moved out last month. The divorce papers are being finalized. Some nights, I still cry, not because I miss him, but because I grieve the life I thought we were building. I understand now that Marcus was carrying pain from his past. But his trauma became my trauma the moment he chose to lie instead of trust me with the truth. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe someday I'll meet someone who values honesty. Maybe I'll have the family I always dreamed of. Or maybe I'll build a different kind of life. Where are you watching from? Did you make it to the end? If this story made you think, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing the video.